ですね。富永さんなんかレミ使ってほしいみたいな声あったっぽい。
あ、マジで。
強キャラのレミ。
確かに。でもね、
How's that?
誠よりちょっと強いぐらいだからね、あんまり強くないかもしれないね。チュンリー
That looks like it's pretty good.
チュンリーはどうなの？
チュンリーはね、一番上だった。
一番上？
一番上に君臨してた。
Whoa,
パワーあった。
パワーあった。
that's some good charging actually. He planned to do that. That was no accident. He did that EX cold blue kick expecting the EX flash kick immediately afterwards.
あれやる
I forget the actual name of Renmi's flash kick.
やること少なそう。
I think it's Rising Rage Flash. That might be the super though.
バニヤさん取ってますね。
そうですね、これだってキャラ差ですから。
Cold blue kick is that.
さ
The fireball's light of virtue. People call them LOVs.
出なかったかな、大
まあ、
様。
タミこれ負けても仕方ないよ、これキャラ差だから。
Jump jab.
キャラも弱い、人も弱い。
必然。
これ負けるようになってますね、これね。
これダメだね。
I like the idea.
これもうなんか、いや、それダメなんだじゃなくてもうお前がダメだ。
That's a pretty easy super to punish, either on whiff or block.
次、元くんの一人目。元くんの。
Spicy went with Roundhouse.
いや、うまいとかじゃないんだ。うまいとか、縦石バーガー何で有名かっていうと、店員の親父が名物親父みたいな感じで。
あ、そうなんだ。
そうそうそう。マジ気狂ってるって言って。それを見に行く感じ。ちょっと前まではその学生とか、よく女子高生がさ、ゲラゲラ
I'm gonna say probably not.
っていうかマジやばくないっつって、そういう感じのお店。
そうなんだ。味じゃないんだ。
味じゃない、味じゃない。
味ではない。
Mention if that was blocked.
でちなみにうちの妹も相当
EX flash kick is a fairly good response to overheads in this game. Most overheads are barely reactable. If you can manage to react in time, it's a very easy motion to do from down back. Oro has the same thing with his EX uppercut. They're the only two, I guess EX bird works as well, but EX bird is not super consistent. I was gonna say flash kick style reversals.
すごい減る。もう一丁入ってもうまくっている。
Mm-mm.
だけどここ
We could have died for that. Oh, my chokes. I think he was trying to catch a back roll or something.
クイックをね、確認しないとむずいんですよね。
That was the worst red fireball in history. He wanted a point blank red fireball into super.
お、ケンドさん来た。お疲れ。お疲れ様。ケンドさん今日出てるよね。
I had a comment like that on my VT2 video. I laughed.
いやでもケンドさん
Street Fighter 3 no EX moves. Street Fighter 5 all EX moves all the time. That was the comment.
平和なバージョン。これはまあいいことです。
This is not a position where he needs to do a grounded Gene, so that was all style.
最近いなくなっちゃ
That
う。
wasn't optimal or anything.
これがちょっと平和を守ってます。
Grounded Gene combos are a lot easier to drop,
どこですか？
although arguably not as bad to drop. Dropping an air Gene juggle wastes a whole bunch of your Gene time.
だからもう悪いやつは許
Grounded Gene juggles just turn into resets.
せない。レベルが失礼です。
And of course, Yan is a neutral god when Gene's up. The pushback on Gene needs to be insane.
ないとやんないと強くなる。そうですよ。すごいと思います。だって俺のやってる時間なんて健三さんの3分の1以下でしたよ。多分。いやもうそろそろ俺を超えましたよ。
So far in SM64O, I've only played Waluigi and Rosalina.
やってるやつなかなかいないよ。まあ確かに。
And Yoshi.
正直。
Yoshi's flutter jump is kind of good.
ボスぐらいじゃないですか。
So far, every single character feels outright better than Mario.
多分俺の 1.3 倍ぐらいやってますよ。ボスは。かなりやってますよ。相当。
Re-corner.
道理で強いわけですよ。まあそういうことですよ。強さの裏には。
That might have been minus. It was probably like frame neutral.
それがやっぱ。
Command got punish. Oh, that's even better. He actually got the walk under.
そうですね。輝いてほしいんですけど。
I didn't even know you could walk under that.
飛びにが大丈夫ですか？出る目を潰してないですか？いやいやいや。
Although I wouldn't say I'm surprised.
じゃあみんなは世の中にいっぱい悪いやつ。
Oro doesn't need to care about walk under.
つまずいてちゃダメだよ。
I shouldn't say he doesn't need to. It would benefit to walk under.
結構いけるようにな
Or I can get a touch of Dizzy on Remy in the corner with the right starters. Remy's Dizzy's tiny. That should be a fighting game where one of the stages is pitch black. It's only lit up by fireballs. Remy throws ice. You know, he might. They're blue, and he does have some ice theming going on with his story, so I can almost buy that. However, there are ice effects in this game. Is it only Gil? Is Gil the only character with an ice attack? There's a bunch of characters with fire attacks. There's also a bunch of characters with electric attacks. But ice attacks, I can only think of Gil. Despite being visually completely different, both halves of Gil are completely identical, if memory serves. I thought it'd be really cool if one of them had like more damage and the other had more hit stun or some bullshit like that. But it's only the effects that change, which is kind of sad. I guess it makes it more balanced, but they really didn't need to make him balanced at all. And they certainly didn't try to. Necro and Urien and also Ryu all have electricity. There might be another one still. I feel like there's a random super somewhere that has electricity. Maybe I'm just thinking of Denjin. Wasn't there in time with that stand strong. I think the combos on both sides are the same. Stun and Headbutt has no electricity. Oh yes, Yang's Magnetic Storm. An equally meme answer. For the US release of this game, Yang's Super 2 is replaced. The little sprite showing the name of the super is replaced with Necro Super 1. So Yang's supers are 1, what's it? Russian Mahakan, and then Super 1 Magnetic Storm, and then Super 3 is Ambu. Raishin Mahakan does not have a US little name thing, name slide. They fixed that glitch in the all the home ports. If you pick Magnetic Storm, it does give you his regular Super 2. Purely a character select graphical error. Tackle has a pretty good hitbox coming in, but it is unsafe. Pretty sure Young can just punish it with a dash punch. Light dash punch is really good for full screen presence. Light dash punch is like the Kemi light drill of this game. It's very, very quick, and it covers a pretty alarming range for how quick it is. Yan is the Kemi function. Kemi would be pretty neat in this game. She'd actually be really interesting, but she'd probably be low tier, since her whole thing is like normal stuff in like every Street Fighter, and this game has almost no normal. She'd probably have like a single one frame link somewhere, and otherwise she'd just have to use all of her moves in like punishes. Parry into stand fierce drill. You definitely don't play Urien by mashing on tackles. If you have a super, that's pretty good though. I do that too. If you jump and parry on the way up, you can get through a mirror. Oro can usually just jump and then double jump, or just super jump. He can clear mirrors very easily compared to most of the cast. Mid-screen tackle into super has very bad mix-ups, but it is safe and it does give you a lot of screen corner carry, and that's really important for Urian, who loves cornering the opponent. Oh, that kind of, okay. Urian's a very strange character in this game, because most of him is only unlocked with a parry. Crouch Fierce is unsafe by itself, and you can only cancel the first hit, not the second in this game. So he's kind of like this weird poking character most of the time. Poking around with stay medium kick. Low strong maybe, low forward. Stand fierce occasionally. This matchup is fairly fair. This is probably a 6-4 in Chun-Li's favor. Urian is quite a strong character against the whole cast. He's like a pretty consistent high tier. He's one of the most consistent characters in the entire game. His great matchups aren't that great, and his bad matchups aren't that bad. He's very balanced. He's playing with fire, doing tackles like that. Chun-Li definitely could have supered that. That's a punish too. Oh, he didn't get a reversal. That mirror was only to give him more charge time. Everyone mid-tier and above has decent internal balance in this game. And this game has a very high ceiling. So even if a matchup is bad, you can make it work if you're good enough. Which is why Kuroda Q had so much success. Or Hayao Hugo. I think he could have killed there with a super. Medium Tatsu to super just works, I think. Medium Tatsu is a really strange attack. One for the red parry. Urian's black because he's made of metal. That was cool. I feel like I might need a mirror connect on Akuma. This is why Akuma's not fun. This is also a 6-4 in Akuma's favor. Either this or Chun-Li are Urian's worst matchups, and they're both pretty bad. This is an AIDS matchup. Urian has to do something really difficult or annoying. He has to red parry like hits of Tatsus. But if you actually get it, then you get rewarded so much. Because if you actually get the last hit red parry, you get a Crouch Fierce on Akuma, which just melts Akuma's health. You can literally do like 70% combos on Akuma fairly easily. As almost any character. He had a light Tatsu before that DP. He could have done air Tatsu 2 hits light Tatsu and then DP. That'd been pretty lit. This matchup is very strange. Oh, might be dead. Yep, he's dead. He is dead. Doesn't even need a meter. Doesn't even need EX. Urian's juggles are a lot more limited on without mirror, because he can't do any of his like super to charge kind of moves, or any of his bounce off the mirror style moves. EX chop going the wrong way. I think this can kill. What a choke. That was, oh, okay. That was, light DP. I mean, yeah, heavy DP into super. And I think it would have killed. Makoto only needs one bar to, I mean, one super to touch of death, Akuma. Despite the fact that Akuma instantly dies when Makoto grabs him, the matchup is not too bad. It's probably in Makoto's favor, but not by a whole lot. Makoto's anti-air options are kind of shrug. No, they're just bad. And Akuma's jump-in options are probably the best in the game. And anything you do as Akuma can be cancelled. I shouldn't say anything, but a lot of your grounded attacks can be cancelled to Demon Flip relatively safely against Makoto. And even if you parry an attack that's cancelled to Demon Flip, you actually can't punish it with a grab. Because Akuma is airborne frame 1 for Demon Flip. So he's actually somewhat difficult to command grab. And of course Akuma players make it that much harder on you. Because they know the danger of actually getting command grabbed. Oh, I dropped it. I like Stand Fierce there. Whoa. Wild. If you get a super on a cornered opponent, you can't do anything, but if you get a DP into super on a cornered opponent, the opponent's a little higher up than they normally are, which gives you a juggle. You can get hard Tatsu or any of your DPs, I think. Oh, he dropped it. Air Tatsu into ground, light Tatsu into DP. That combo looks lit. You have a medium DP there, but if you drop it, you die, so a lot of people don't go for it. Medium Tatsu, medium DP works on Makoto, I think. You might actually have medium Tatsu, hard DP on Makoto. Character-specific combos in this game are pretty wild. Akuma has a few with that medium Tatsu. Light Tatsu, hard DP works on everyone. I like the way medium Tatsu works in Street Fighter V a lot. They did a really good job with his Tatsus. They're all super unique. That was a nice little wake up, or meaty pressure from Makoto. He was ready to. He wasn't point blank, so a wake up demon wouldn't have hit him, and his attack was slightly delayed, so a wake up KKZ wouldn't have hit him. Those were the two things to really be afraid of. And those are both pretty alarming reversals, I gotta say. Hard to punish. Yeah. Ooh, both of them. Yeah, but they're if you drop them, you instantly die because of the opponent quick stands. They actually get a punish. And Akuma hates people punishing his DPs. The difficulty varies based on what character you're doing it on. I think Makoto, they're kind of easy. Makoto's really wide midair. It's really on the player. Super 1 is arguably more generally useful, but Super 2 has been seeing a big rise recently because more and more people can do the juggle consistently. Can. Oh, we just watched part 2. Damn it. This is part 1. Whatever. They do different things and they're both really good. For a noob, 1 for sure. 1 is good after a parry. 1 works in a lot more combos. It works anywhere on the screen. You can confirm it fairly easily if you piano. 2 only confirms off of Stand Fierce and only if you're close to the corner. Chun-Li has good attendance. No, she's good as fucking Alpha. In Alpha 2 and Alpha 3, she's like high tier, I think. She might be top in Alpha 3. In Street Fighter 2, she's like top 6, I think. In Street Fighter 3, she's like top 1, top 2. In Street Fighter 4, she's probably the most mediocre she's ever been. Chun ST is mega good. Chun ST is definitely better than Chun-In. What the fuck is this? Why is Dorai picking Super 2 anyway? Super 2 is okay in some matchups. It's also fairly easy to confirm from an Ultra Throw. It's not horrible. It's not that hard to land an Ultra Throw. It's about as hard as landing any other command grab. Chun-Li has good attendance. She's got the second best attendance in the game in the series after Ryu. Chun-Li in Cross Tekken is like number 1, I think, or like top 3 anyway. Let me think. It's hard to say for the Marvel games. I don't know a thing about Marvel 1 balance. I think she's decently strong in Marvel 2, but no one plays her. Because why would you not pick the top tier in that game? In Marvel 3, she's like secret top tier. In Marvel Infinite, she's also probably secret top tier. Strong as fuck, but no players. Oh, she's bad in Marvel 2. Take it back. I thought she was okay. I thought she was like mid. But mid is bottom tier in Marvel 2. A lot of the Street Fighter characters are not too bad in Marvel 2. But, you know. Within reason. That's your gab. I wonder what the tier list is like for Capcom Fighting Evolution. I've heard someone say all the Street Fighter 3 characters are busted. I've heard someone say all the Darkstalkers are busted. Those are probably both true. Forgot Nash was in Marvel. Nash has been in more Marvel games than he's been in. That's not true. Nash has had a good representation in Marvel, though. And you're the hag. That is very interesting. That towards light kick. On some characters, the EX dash punch into light dash punch doesn't work. You have to do towards light kick. That didn't work. On other characters, the towards light kick is just a nicer knockdown. Sagat's been a consistent top tier. I thought about that one recently. Sagat was strong in Street Fighter 4, strong in the EX series, strong in Street Fighter 2, strong in CVS. Didn't show up in any other crossovers, I don't think. What about Shadow Assist? Poison Taunt is my favorite taunt.
後半から走って投げていいガス。
初対面なんだけどね、アザースってね言うんだよね。
さあ続きまして土下座さんお願いします。
土下座さん。
In Alpha, he has an invincible DP, which is kind of rare. There aren't that many characters with invincible DPs in Alpha. It's like the Shadows, Adon, and Sagat, and maybe like a couple more.
確かに。俺この前エッグチョコ一人で食ってたからね。
確かにね、富永さん帰った後にね、ゴミ捨てるなって。
Why isn't Colleen playable in Third Strike?
ここにね、全部ね、ぶん流っててね、マジムカついた。
R2D2 と箱と。
Too far. It wasn't too far!
ここに散乱してて。
That super occasionally surprises me.
先週のビスコもね、箱とか全部その。
The trade with the DP. The DP stops being invincible on the frame that it hits, I think. Leo has his own tier.
いやいやいやいやいや。だからみんなで食うかなと思って残してて。
He's that good. Anakaris, Yuri and Jeddah, Kareen, Dimitri, Hauser, Kenji, Rose, Alex, Guy, and Bison Guile, Ryu, Ingrid. Okay, it does sound like Vampire Savior. Plus Street Fighter 3. Where the hell's Chun? I don't even see her on the list. She's a Street Fighter 3 character in that game. Me sleeping? No, fuck that. Huh? What was that? He like low jab and then canceled it to an SPD. That was probably he wanted a whiff jab into 720. Fucked it up. Oh, Ryan's gonna sleep. Realm.
俺の親友が足立区在住葛飾区役所勤務。
あ、本当。葛飾区役所ちょっと行って、俺駒さんの知り合いだけどちょっとごねてくる。確かにごねれば多分別室に呼ばれるよね。
Chun-Li is one of those characters where Capcom actually cares that she's strong. Like Akuma. A lot of characters, if they're low tier, they're just like whatever. If DJ or like T-Hawk is low tier, Capcom's just like, oh well, that's how things go. But if like Chun-Li or Akuma is low tier, Capcom's like, wait a second, we fucked up. Yeah, Ryu used to have that privilege. I feel like people are overstating Ryu's weakness. That new glitch where he can't do his last DP into super, that's annoying, but it's not really that. It's rarely going to decide a match. VT1 consuming B meter is probably his biggest actual nerf, and I don't know why the fuck they did that. But the VT1 buffs in Season 3 are actually pretty nice. People look at like Ryu's changes, but they don't look at his matchups. Ryu's okay against like almost the whole cast. He's just never like strong. Ryu's one of the better balanced characters in Street Fighter 5. She's so strong and you'll feel better. Why is there a Sean here? That worked. That's a really fast super. It's like 2 frames. If it looks like it's gonna hit, it does. Most people don't fully realize how shitty Sean is. Sean is like a tier below 12 even. He can't really do anything from that ball. That might be a punish. I know that was on hit, but that might be a punish. I know that was a successful overhead, and I know it wasn't a reversal super, but I'm pretty sure that overhead on hit is like -3.
でもなんか似てる。それっぽい技。
でもこれチャットに書いてある答えがチャット勢はみんな気づいた。
Sean has like minus everything.
いや、チャット勢にも書いてないね。
嘘。
It's gonna work.
トルネイじゃないの。
トルネイじゃない。
トルネイじゃない。
Sean's supers are okay.
トルネイじゃない。トルネイはね、ムーン半角です。
Super 2 is maybe, the meter is maybe a little bit too long, and it doesn't have enough confirms. None of his supers have enough confirms, even Super 1. Uh-oh.
あー、危ない危ない危ない危ない危ない危ない。さあ、バニャンさん。あー、それじゃない。もういいか。正解は前台キックです。あ
A normal fireball wouldn't help him for shit in this game.
前大キックでした正解は。
Normal fireballs aren't even that good.
そう。さあ、出てきたのは富永さんのチュンリーです。
The EX might actually be minus on hit as well.
お、飛んで。
But yeah, all the other ones are, I think, outright unsafe on hit.
でも、そのおかげでもうゲージは溜まりそうですね。さあ、ここからは中足一発さして逃げ切りでいくのか。
His special moves are so bad. That's his actual biggest weakness.
皆さんなんだこれ。
Sean got a complete overhaul between second impact and third strike. They like went through all his attacks and made them shitty on purpose.
さあ、当て投げされて
Like he used to have just an outright like normal Shoto low forward, and then they made it so he has Shoto low forward but like 3 frames slower.
ボコボコにされてる。
They nerfed the range on his DP. They made all of his supers worse.
これ
I think they kept Super 1 the same.
あのサバイバル
But Super 2 went from like a 3-bar Super to a 2-bar Super, I think.
大慶だって
Or maybe at a shorter meter. Something. They did something to it. Super 3 definitely went from a 2-bar Super to a 1-bar Super. And also they removed its main confirm, which was his strong roundhouse TC. It still works on Makoto, but doesn't work on any other character, I think. He had a lot of strong tools in second impact.
崩せねえと。さあ、ブロッキングから中和小力。パンパン。確かに前だけ教えてブロってきた。
Oh yeah, EX Tatsu into Super 3. That would, I don't even know if that would work frame-wise anymore. But now, of course, it's impossible because you don't have enough meter. This matchup is Hugo's probably worst, but maybe his second worst. It's like a, some people call it an 8-2. Some people call it a 7-3. Depends on who you ask. Of course, an 8-2 is pretty awful. But this might really be an 8-2. It's very shitty. There probably isn't a 9-1 anywhere in this game. But if there is, it might be Q versus Makoto. But also it might not be. Pretty nice parry and punish.
ブロッキングから中和小力で。さあ、ブロッキングから中和小力。ブロッキングから中和小力です。レバない。さあ、調子こいてきた。
Got her.
あ、食らってる。
This
これ
could
やば
go
い
either way.
待って待って。これやばいね。
Elena versus healing. Elena healing versus 12 is... It's shitty, but it's not that shitty. I wouldn't even call it 8-2. It's like 7-3 at worst. Elena has a good tool set versus 12. But I think it's overstated. A lot of 12 players say it's horrible, and then a lot of 12 players say it's not that bad at all. Very famously, one of the main tutorials for teaching 12, the guy acted like it was the worst matchup ever. And said it was a lot worse than Chun-Li. There's no human way it's worse than Chun-Li. It like can't be. Elena can't be like as strong as Chun-Li in any matchup. Because of parries. Elena's returns are just too worse. It doesn't even matter what character you're playing. Elena just can't push her mix up without taking risks against anyone. Elena's attacks are too inherently risky compared to Chun's. You could play a walking parry and you do better against Elena than Chun-Li. And every character can play like that. Chun versus Alex. That was a nice red. Chun-Li versus Alex is a little shitty. It's probably a 7-3 as well. Might be worse actually. It's probably a 7-3. It might be an A2. This matchup is not fun. Very hard match. No. That jump is kind of awkward. If you just stay blocking there, sometimes Alex can grab you. The last hit of that is a true grab. But it'll never hit if the fourth hit, like if you block the fourth hit. But there's a certain spacing where he can whiff the fourth hit and then the grab will be in range, and it's actually like perfectly spaced if you block it. Yeah, Hugo might actually do better in this matchup than Alex does, to be 100% honest. It's hard to say though, because Alex is very, very explosive. Alex always looks very mediocre until he manages to get something going, and then all of a sudden he can just win. Alex looks worse than he is. Alex's pressure is good. I don't know about that. Alex doesn't really have momentum in this game that much. It's more like if you just happen to get 3 hits in a row, but the hits don't lead into each other. But if you happen to get 3 hits in a row, you instantly win. If you happen to get like a stand fierce and a stand forward, close forward at the EX chop, and a throw, all of a sudden the opponent has 90% dizzy and they have to start making really shitty decisions. I can't tell if the names are swapped or if this is actually a Chun-Li player playing Makoto and a Makoto player playing Chun-Li. The taunt. Bully. どっかなちじゃな。Time out. Hey. Did someone say Alex? Did someone say Kuroda Alex? I agree, Toe. And yet, the community was very, very against that. I used to say exactly that when Online Edition was being devved. And I got shouted down. But that was back when I was a nobody. Well, I wasn't a nobody, I was like as good at video games, but I wasn't a known name. That was a red. Back fierce whiffs on crouching opponents. And it's unsafe on block. But it's unparryable. And it's got enough active frames that it'll probably catch them if they do a down parry. Like if they down parry and then stand again. There are people who really say that this game is balanced. I'm guessing that none of them. I'm guessing either they're all Chun-Li players or they've never played the game. This is not less balanced than SD. SD has mad bad balance. That's a nice red. SD has a tinier roster than this game. And it actually has 9-1 matchups. Kuroda going for memes. Meter not consumed. That's probably the optimal punish, sadly. Technically speaking, Alex can red parry that super and then go for a hard chop. Have fun with that. If Alex had light chop into super, he would be such a better character. that one change would just shoot him up. Light chop is very safe. You can just always do stand forward into light chop. But there's no combo there. You can cancel medium, hard, or EX chop into super, but not light chop. And light chop's the only one you can combo into. That one change would breathe so much life into Alex. Nice block. That was the leg crutch jab. That was a very strange decision. That's cute. Very safe to air parry and then not even go for a air attack. He was just looking for more air parries and then he threw on landing. Very, very safe. It's very tempting as soon as you get a parry to immediately hit a button. You can always spot the veterans because they go for parries and then they use the parry opportunity to look for more parries. That was such a shitty punish. Fucking Kuroda. EX drop was probably good there. He had super, but EX drop kept Ken in the corner. Alex's super crosses up. This will kill Ken. What kind of shitty punish was that? He wanted EX. Kuroda dropping stand strong into EX. That was a punish, I think. Not often do you get a punish after parrying that. Kuroda dropping stand strong into EX / elbow. That's nasty. I don't like seeing that. That was nice. Jump Fierce goes very far down, but if you get a high connect like that, there's not a whole lot you can do. He had a big combo there. That kind of anti-air connect, that was probably a punish. That kind of anti-air connect is fun stuff to do. He probably could have juggled into towards Fierce at the very least. He might have been able to do stand roundhouse. And stand roundhouse keeps the juggle going. Ooh, that was mad good. I think Alpha 2 I don't think gets that many players in Fightcade. Alpha 3 gets a few more, but still not very many. There's a good variety of skill on Fightcade. You get people who are really good and really bad. If you're really, really bad, you won't know the difference. Ken can actually punish EX / elbow with super. So it's actually not that good at all to use random EX / elbow. They don't have Alpha 2. Okay, so there are no Alpha 2 players. I thought they did have it. I remembered Alpha 3 was more popular. Yeah, there you go. Not even reversal, still a punish. Most characters can't punish that, but Ken can. In general, if a move can be punished by someone, one of the characters who can punish it is Ken. That's one of Ken's little claims to fame. He's got the best punishes. His damage is pretty high in general too. So he has some of the best punishes for damage. Especially once you throw in that's probably unsafe. It wasn't actually a punish. Calling me surprised. Is hyper fighting? What's the reason they have hyper fighting? I'm guessing it's like the most sold Street Fighter 2 version. I don't know why the fuck they added online to it though. That's the thing about other versions of Street Fighter 2 is they're even more Kuso than like SD. SD is like the least Kuso Street Fighter 2 version. I think Shotos are busted in every single version of Street Fighter 2. That's nice. Imagine if we could do that into Super. Like against Dizzy. He only ate like 2 combos. Yeah, look at that. That's a nice anti-air. It's not a hard parry, but the thing is that's such a specific parry. I'm not sure if I can possibly believe that Blanca is strong in any version of Street Fighter 2. I'm guessing maybe he has like an electricity that's really hard to hit him out of or something like that. Hyper Street Fighter 2 is the edition select. Hyper Fighting is just super. It's just Turbo. Street Fighter 2 Turbo. It's the third one. That wasn't a punish, but it was a mix-up. The most balanced fighting game of all time is Street Fighter 1 because there's only one playable character. By definition, the most balanced fighting game. Is that a combo? Media low short, Link super. Wow, he actually, it was a combo. That was cool.
Now, find a new rival. Welcome to the world of Street Fighter 3. I got the picture. Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
Street Fighter 1 had later versions that didn't have the pneumatic buttons. So I hear. Look at that stun bar. Looking pretty scary. Alex gets anything, he can fuck Chun-Li up. That might just kill.
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
There's at least one person in the world who's going to find out that their fucking jam is hyper fighting. And they're going to play a ridiculous amount of hyper fighting online. At least one human. Touch of Deaths are not so rare in Street Fighter 2. And Bison in particular. Also DJ. Both have very practical ones. There's a few more too. I think uppercut in Street Fighter 1 is multiple hits, and even on block, a single hit does like a third of the opponent's health. So you can get like a 3-hit block DP that just does 90% of the opponent's health. I think you can have 3-hit. You can definitely have 2-hit. That same Fierce hit so late. Kuroda's got a curious way of playing this. Hit midair. Kuroda Alex is pretty cool, actually. He's playing the character really well. This is like how Alex plays. Kuroda's playstyle matches well with Alex's playstyle. Reminder that Retsu is one of the most important characters in SF lore, and yet he's never made a playable appearance. And in fact, his only appearance, like even visually in the series, is Street Fighter 1, I think. Despite the fact that he literally raised Ryu and Ken, and is one of the main practitioners of their fighting style. I've never played Karnov's Revenge, but I did play Karnov on the NES. Oof. Ken's pretty bad for Alex. Nice. And an optimal punish. That was about as good as it gets. Oh my god, this is almost done. It is done. This kills. Heavy chop into backbreaker. Alex is pretty scary if you get a few hits. That's a car throw. You can always see Alex's car throws because they car off towards Fierce, which has he has him put his hand behind him. That was empty jump throw, but Ken made him land into a low. Very strong anti-air, even against the best players in the world. Got him. This leaves him in the corner too. Same Fierce. Oh, he blocked. Oh, it is on same Fierce. He had no super. He did have super there. 3 too early. I'm really liking Ken for this one. Oh. Never mind. If it's gonna kill you, you have to actually like spot it right. That had to be a cross up. Well, it didn't have to, because it could have been stay medium kick. That stomp stuff, you can always OS the stomp, but the OS doesn't work if you're about to die to chip, because you know you died to chip. You can parry it, but you can't block it. This matchup is shittiest for Alex. Alex does have good range. And Yun Yang does have low health. So it's not too bad. There's nothing in particular about this that makes it that good for Yang except say Embu, which this Yang isn't running. So it's really just a goodish character versus a badish character. Say Embu changes things quite a lot though. Say Embu is real annoying for Alex to deal with. Say Embu is probably better overall in this matchup. Normally Super 2 is better overall, but in certain matchups Super 3 can become a bit better. You can run Super 3 or Super 2 in any matchup with Yang. They're both good in any matchup. Which one's the better one changes a little bit based on the player and the character they're fighting. The thing you really want to look for with say Embu is whether you have unblockables with dive kick. And against Alex you do, because he's nice and wide, he's a wide boy. Make him land on the low. That beats empty jump parry. Technically you can do empty jump low parry, but no one does that because it's shit. Empty jump low parry loses to defensive throw. No anti-air into defensive throw, which is actually the most common anti-air. That was no anti-air into defensive throw. We just saw it right now. The most common anti-air is no anti-air. That's how to play this game. Yeah, he tried to jump out. Different characters get hit differently by that. Ouch. That's a nice parry. He had the read. Ooh, Alex. He got Alexed. Alex can just kill you. We already figured out what G is short for. I asked the 8-ball.
rival. Welcome to the world of Street Fighter 3. Yeah, I'm awake here.
Geki is Ibuki's dad, I think.
Are you ready? Go.
The G stands for Gabraham Lincoln. The G is short for grappler. Rival, huh? Oof. Command grab, meaty command grab is never real in this game. You're unthrowable on wake up, but it's always a mix-up. It's just that you can always do something to get out of it. Catches people who are going for wake up block or wake up parry. But if you do reversal buttons, they'll always be the meaty grab because you throw invincible for a little bit. Was that really a punish?
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
He had a combo there. That was nice. You can always buffer super after stay medium kick and only do it on hit. Very good confirm. It's very interesting the way that the tools he's zoning in on with Alex. A lot of that neutral jump fierce as a mix up with throw. A lot of jump in parry. The low TC! I'm pretty sure just low forward by itself would have killed. Alex has a just frame TC. He actually has two of them. Low short, low forward, and low short, low run house. Low short, low run house actually is not a combo, and it's also just frame to do. So literally no one does it. But low short, low forward is a combo. And both that's technically Alex's highest damage out of a low. Not counting meaty low short into linked super. If Alex could chain low short into low jab, he'd be a much better character. Because then you could do low short, low jab super. Low jab doesn't combo into anything else. Light normals are very combo unfriendly in this game. It's still a cancel. So yeah, it's a TC. The thing about target combos is they're cancels. Alex. That was a nice first parry. He could have gotten the second parry very easily. The hard parry for that is the first one. There are a few TCs in this game that don't combo. Makoto towards forward into stand run house is a TC, but it doesn't combo, I think. Wake up stomp. That's not great. I don't think that's even airborne frame 1. Pretty sure it's not. The only lore-related thing? What about fucking the entirety of Nash? Lore-related stuff changed Nash's entire gameplay. He wanted close strong and he got far strong. Unfortunate. Ooh, nice link. Very meaty universal overhead link to low short. 7 hits, that's the full thing. That high ass connect dive kick on a tall character. And it was still plus. I really like Nash's gameplay overhaul. I feel like he could be a bit more interesting, but I like what they did with him. His moves are just missing a smidge of synergy, but I can't tell where to put it. Maybe if like you threw a fireball then did a moonsault, if the moonsault anti-aired the person who was trying to jump over a fireball. Or the fireball more efficiently covered the moonsault's approach. His special moves don't quite fit together. I like how a lot of his moves are like visually similar to Guile moves but function differently though. There is a thing with his supers in Third Strike. So in Street Fighter 4, Ryu has Satsui style attacks because he's struggling. Street Fighter 4, his 2 ultras are Metsu Shoryu and Metsu Hadoken. Metsu means like ruinous. Destructive. But in Street Fighter 3, he only has the Shinku, which is his super in, you know, other games. And then he also has Goken's attacks. He has Goken's 2 ultras as his supers. He's got Shin Shoryu and you've got Denshin Hadoken. So he stopped using the Metsu attacks and he started using Goken's moves. The ground pound theme of Akuma's attacks is pretty cool. He's got a CBS2 on as well, where he like jumps and lands on you. But it's all like Akuma jumping and CBS. What do you call it? Street Fighter Cross Tekken also has that. It's like a combination of his jump and land on you super, and then his KKZ. Akuma has like a series of attacks that are across all the games. A lot of his ultimate attacks are like him slamming you into the ground, or just him slamming the ground. Yeah, Misogi. Nice. Not very much damage on that. Alex's Super 2 is truly shitty in every way that a super can be shitty, and yet it still is best super. It's kind of impressive in a way, just how bad Super 2 is. It's alright if it hits in this context. It's not a terrible super. It does a decent amount of dizzy, and it does all combo, and the damage is alright for the meter you spend. But if you get a mid-air connect, you lose a shit ton of damage, and it's very, very weak. If you're too far away, the super falls out, and the opponent can punish you. It has very, 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 very few confirms, so it's almost impossible to land. It's not that fast, so it's, well, it is pretty fast, but he can't link it after anything. There's no like mix-up component to it. It does have invincibility. It is an invincible super. That's something. Not that many attacks in this game are invincible. Being able to wake up with a super is kind of nice. It's full jump in punishable on block. Very few supers in this game can be punished by jump ins. Most of them are punished on the ground. That was a very, very modest punish. That would actually be mad good. Light chop stun gun. I still don't. No, that would be good enough to be his best super for sure. Alex is usable. Instead of fixing his weak areas, they made his better areas better. His damage is pretty fucking high, especially if he dizzies you. People like the bitch about Alex, but Alex in Street Fighter 5 is actually he's like not great, but he's okay. He's probably low mid, but he might just be mid. He's functional. Sleeper hold in Street Fighter 5 is like his best damage off of a chop. It does more damage than his, or rather the full combos into it do more damage than his fucking jump grab thing. If you want to do the highest possible damage out of a chop, for example, low short, low jab chop into sleeper hold, you know. Stand strong is an okay normal. Alex's frame traps are really shitty in Street Fighter 5, but that doesn't matter as much as you would think. Oh, very cute. He did not need to do that. He won even if he blocked. His frame traps are probably like the worst in the game. His 4 frame traps are not horrible, but he has no 3 frame trap at all. And also the pushback is enough that you only get 1 chance. His stun combos actually got a lot better because of the change to Lariat. Now you can do like crush counter, stem run house into, or hard hit stem run house rather, into towards fierce into hard chop. I mean hard. Towards fierce into hard slash elbow. He actually got a lot of damage. That new cancel is really good in that context. It adds a chunk. Towards fierce into a hard slash elbow just naturally combos. You used to just go straight into slash elbow in that combo. Not anymore. His mix-up game is still decent. Towards fierce into a command grab is good. Towards fierce combos on hit. Towards fierce into a button is good. His approach is not the worst of the grapplers. He can approach better than Abigail or Zangief anyway. He's got better full screen presence than them. I don't know if I'd call Alex's approach better than Mika or Laura, though. In some ways it's better, but I think in general it's worse.
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
To be honest, I don't know if there's any weak characters right now in Street Fighter 5. Or I shouldn't say any weak, because there are a lot of characters who are weakish. But a lot of people's perceptions of what's low tier is very, very modest in Street Fighter 5. Or that's not what I meant to say. But like, most characters who people call unusable are extremely usable. Street Fighter 5 has really good balance. People like to exaggerate it, but it's really not as bad as people say. People are liking to say, Minot and Kami are so good. But they're like, you know, they're just sticking out the most of any of the characters. People say that, dude. I've been getting tired of that. That's why I made that thread on our Street Fighter. Literally every single person thinks their character sucks. And I don't know what the fuck that's about. Kami's only a smidge better than in Season 3, and she's not even that good in Season 3. This should combo. I think Minot might actually be busted, but she's not currently busted. But like on paper, she might eventually be busted. Eventually there will be more people who are playing Minot the way Infiltration does, or the way fucking Sako. And then she will be busted. I think Minot's probably #1 in the game. Jury is definitely not as good as she could be, but she's definitely functional. Spark? The explosion? Did it get weaker? Didn't it just lose damage? Where's Minot? I think I passed her. 100 to 80, 200 to 150. That's okay. That's all okay. Literally every single player of every single character is acting like their character is shit. Except like Colleen players. Colleen got so much life in Season 3. Chun-Li was nicely buffed in Season 3. 3.5 was pretty good too. Have you read the fucking comments on the Chun-Li videos and the other shit people say? You would think that Chun-Li was fucking destroyed. The Alex one really confused me. Because I had 2 people saying Alex is unusable now, and then I went to the fucking change list and every single Alex change was a buff. I was like, what? Alex is unusable now that every single thing. He had like 2 nerfs, and they were both like non-nerfs. They made it so you can't do a just frame sleeper hold after hard chop, which is like... That was stupid that he could do that anyway. And it definitely wasn't winning anyone any matches. But technically it's a nerf that they removed it. And there was one other thing, but I forget what it was, but it was slightly more notable than that. But like it was like a slew of buffs. And then like 2 nerfs. And the nerfs were like borderline bug fixes. And people were saying Alex sucked. I was like, what the fuck? People are saying Ken sucks now. It's like, shit, dude. What, did Ken get worse? I think all of Ken's changes were buffs too. Better damage. The crouch jab buff, which is actually really good. V-skill lost damage but got better overall. Medium sure you can change is like a non-change. No one can tell me what that even does. EXDP is massively buffed. VT2 is massively buffed. Ken got like only buffs and people were acting like Ken is a non-character now. It's like, what the fuck? Dead Strike has character-specific combos, yes. There aren't that many. And there aren't that many characters, so people are very aware of what their combo routes are. That's a really good top 4. I would throw in maybe... If it was me, I'd probably say Ibuki. But I don't know if that many people would say that these days. I legit think that Colleen might be a top tier. Nakali and Urien are quite strong too. I don't know if Urien's maybe top tier material. To be 100% honest, I don't know if Abigail is removed from the game. New ultras in AE, no. There are no ultras in the game at all, but there are no new supers if that's what you're asking. But there are new triggers. Colleen is harder to learn than most characters, but no character in Street Fighter V is hard to learn. This is gonna fall out. Bad punish though. He could have killed. All he had to do was walk in, but instead he jumped. I can't believe the number of people who are saying that Ken is like nerfed. What tier list did they read? Even the damage nerfs to step kick are like not a big deal. But when you consider that it has struggles out of it, when you consider that half the time you're using it, it's going to be stronger. Minot's kind of hard to land in general. She's got a lot of things that are annoying. Like versions of EX moves where all three of them are actually pretty good. Ibuki has different versions of her EX move for the kunai throw, but you pretty much only need the close one. The other ones are very rarely useful. But with Minot, you actually need the EX low and the EX straight fireball a lot. And the EX high one is not useless either. That's gonna hit. I think people are so go with the flow right now about tiers in Street Fighter V. They hear people complain and they just act like it's the truth. One thing it's been pissing me off a lot is people acting like their character got worse because they lost Oki off a throw. It's like, bruh, you and everyone else. That actually does make certain characters better and certain characters worse, but almost no one evaluates it correctly. I had that comment in my fucking Chun-Li video, dude. Pissed me off. I didn't say anything. But someone came in, they were like, Baff, you didn't mention that Chun-Li lost Oki off a throw, that's kind of important. It's like, bro. Every single character in the game lost Oki off a throw. Chun-Li's no worse for it than any other character. Chun-Li arguably benefits from it. Like, obviously she'd like having Oki on her throw, but if no one had Oki on throws, Chun-Li is better off, because Chun-Li is good in neutral. And all Oki on throws does is it makes it so characters who are good in neutral... Characters can get momentum easier. And if characters can't get momentum easier, then it means there's more neutral, which is good for Chun-Li. Chun-Li losing Oki on her throw, and then everyone else losing Oki on their throw, was good for Chun-Li. But no Chun-Li player is going to say that. They just look at like the throw Oki being nerfed, and they're just going to be like, oh my god, my character was nerfed. That's why people are dumb. People don't know how to evaluate the changes in the grand spectrum. Fong is maybe buffed by more neutral as well. Fong is definitely buffed by not being as weak on my cup. Fong got buffed a lot by Season 3, but he didn't get anything at all from Season 3.5. He's okay. He's not terrible. He's not the worst character in the game. He might not even be bottom 5 anymore. But he might still be bottom 5. People are having a really hard time rating the characters. They're just saying their own character sucks. These delayed defensive throws. He went for another one. Ken was waking up with Barry a lot. V-reversal's less important now. Just mesh that EX teleport. That could have been parried, but it was unblockable. Yeah, Mika had very, very, very few changes, but the changes she got were all buffs. The towards hard punch into hard shooting Peach is actually pretty nice. I shouldn't say they were all buffs. Low strong was made worse, but it's like a non-factor. Her low strong leaves the opponent marginally further away, but at most anti-air ranges you still get a mix-up after it, so... people definitely came into my universal balance changes. 2 separate people came into my universal balance changes video and complained about Alex. A lot of the pros are saying Alex is like slightly better overall. The long-time Alex players. In the Chun-Li video, people came in and they were like, Chun-Li's just worse. It's like, shit, dude, she only got buffs too, I think. She almost got no changes. She just got the V-skill. Literally just like a single change that's a buff that changes her fucking main BNBs. And people are still acting like she got worse somehow. And she was buffed by the system changes. If there's anyone who deserves a low tier, it's Alex players. Wonder if that didn't hit on its first active frame or if we just dropped the link. Probably the former. Kuroda? Okay. Kuroda? What is this? He's holding that back. Some kind of advanced play. There was another character who only got buffs and everyone, like, people were coming in. Nash, people were coming in, they were acting, maybe not that he was bad, but they were acting like it was kind of modest. Let me think. There was like a big one where it was like a character who was better and people were coming in acting like he was worse. Zeku's changes are really big buffs for the most part. He's one of the most overhauled characters. But his new combos don't change as much as I was expecting at all. His new combos are about the same strength as his previous combos. A couple of them build more V-meter. Technically she got a nerf on Yosen Kyaku. She got 2 since the crush counter changes hurt that. So she lost damage on those combos and also lost damage on the combo routes. It's one of the characters I've already done a video for. Oh, Zangief. Zangief was made worse, don't get me wrong. Zangief got nerfed a lot by Season 3, and he got nerfed again by Season 3.5. The Season 3.5 nerfs were very minor, but the Season 3 nerfs were very major. But I think people are very... I don't agree with almost anyone's tier about Zangief. Zangief has some really annoying matchups. Chun-Li is not fun, Minot is not fun, Dhalsim is not fun. Zangief has like more counterpicks than most characters. He's a lot less functional. But I think people really underrated Season 2 Zangief. And I think that people are also underrating Season 3 Zangief. I think Zangief is probably legitimately mid-tier right now. I think Zangief is legitimately somewhat balanced. V-Reversal into Super was cheap. But it wasn't that. It was strong, but it wasn't that. You didn't see it that often. On paper, it's like a nuts thing that he can do, but like, it's not like that was happening every match. I distinctly remember on a Reddit thread, someone telling me that Season 2 Ibuki was not good. His username on Reddit was literally something like Ibuki is not good, or like something like that. And he made like a big point to argue with me that Season 1 to Season 2 were actually nerfs for Ibuki. And I argued my case and he argued his case further and then I didn't reply. That was like right at the beginning of Season 2. And then Ibuki is usually seen now as the best character in Season 2. I thought Ibuki's changes were going to shoot her to top 1, and then they did. I'm usually pretty good about this stuff, but occasionally I'm wrong. But I've got a good eye for changes that matter versus changes that don't matter. Neat. Most of the Season 3.5 changes don't really matter. The two big characters where they matter a lot are Rashid and Abigail. But almost all the characters didn't have a significant tier shift in 3.5. Rashid players had it too good for too long, man. I remember in Season 1, there was a thread that was, what do you think is the weakest V-trigger? And Dalsim's V-trigger was the worst. And the second worst was Laura, and I was like, what the fuck? Granted, they buffed it since then, but I was really alarmed that Laura V-trigger 1 was considered to be one of the worst triggers. And in Season 2, it was seen as, like, the best 2-bar trigger in the whole game. Maybe not the best, but, like, top 3 2-bar triggers. And they ended up making it a 3-bar trigger. Menat VT1 should really be a 3-bar trigger, but I think that, like, they would have a... Menat is very inaccessible. And if her VT1 was 3 bars, she might be even more inaccessible. I think Vegas was higher than, oh, he had a need there. The knee actually would have comboed from the stand strong. Oh, you know, maybe I'm forgetting some. Because I think Fang's was lower than Laura's too. Laura's was low as shit though. It might have been Dalsim, then Fang, Fong, and then Laura. But I think Vegas was higher. And I remember thinking, like, what the fuck, man? If the only change to Laura's VT1 was mid-screen EX Thunderclap into Hard Elbow, it would still be one of the better VT1s, 2-bar VTs. That combo is cheap. I think he got it. Nope. Even with crouching opponent. So that's the thing that can happen. What the fuck was that? Look at that stun. Alex just dizzies you so fast. What the fuck are these? I think that move might actually have a little bit of invincibility, but it's certainly not a functional reversal. One of the reasons I'm doing my little video series is I want people to be able to rationally discuss the changes. I'm trying to look at the changes with a level head. And I want other people to be able to look at the changes with a level head. I want them to disagree. I want either people to agree with me or to disagree rationally with me. I don't care which. All of the things, all the videos I'm making are just my own opinions. I have been very wrong. I think I'm right, but I have been very wrong. Curious. Who's Christy playing right now? Wasn't it someone weird? Was it Akuma? Oh, someone told me that Sakura's changes were all nerfs. Or not all nerfs, but they were like Sakura's worse overall. I feel like Sakura is much better overall than she used to be. I was caught off guard by that opinion. I think Sakura is like sleeper high mid right now. Maybe even sleeper high tier. She's like quite good. She still has flaws. The main one is V-trigger is a little bit hard to activate even with the EX fireball changes. Shut up, Prax. Did you just hear the conversation we were having? Because that's literally what people are saying. Sakura still gets meaties after throw. People are acting like that's gone. Like, the mix-up is as real as it used to be. Or maybe not quite as real, since I think she did have a pseudo throw loop against 4 frame. or maybe a real throw against 4-frame. But like, it's still she still has throw mix-ups. She still got throw into forward walk into if I do a button, I beat anything you do. And if I do a button and you, like, if I walk in and throw and you don't do a button, then I throw you. Like, that's still there. She can't beat a jab with walk in throw. But she can beat the jab with fucking any of her buttons. You can still do like walk in, stand strong, and beat the jab. Maybe not stand strong. Walk in, low forward. Light Tatsu, something. She has time to get up from the throw and approach the opponent enough that she can get a button in them before they can possibly hit a button themselves. Which is the same as just about every other character in this game. Street Fighter 5, that is. I shouldn't even say that's the same. That's like on the good end. Because there are characters who can't get a meaty after throw. She's got the good end of throws still. Sakura's changed to back fierce into hard Tatsu is fucking insane though, to be honest. It's absolutely insane. That follow-up scenario is amazing. It's about the best Oki you could possibly ask for in this game. +2 point blank, no knockdown. It's alarming. She can hold straight back and walk out of throw range. She can hit stand strong and beat literally anything the opponent can do barring reversals, and also catch their backdash. And from that stand strong, she's close enough that she can link a back fierce. Instant throw beats anything they do as well. And hard Tatsu's safe, so you can fish for it very easily. It's really, really good. Yeah, I just said earlier. High mid or maybe high tier. She benefited a lot from all her changes. I was talking about this earlier. Sakura's upward fireball is basically a meme. It's completely useless outside the crush counter. It's pretty good in the crush counter. It's not necessary, you can just use a forward fireball instead. Or even do a combo that doesn't use that. Does he think Sakura is worse? I thought he's been playing Sakura. I don't know what the fuck Alex Myers thinks. None of this is secret. They should make Sakura's up fireball visually impossible to distinguish with her straight fireball, because right now she's got different poses for them. It would be better if they looked the same, like Goken. And also they should make it so up fireball actually hits opponents who are jumping. Since right now the opponent can see you charging a fireball and hold up forward, and almost always they'll not get hit by your up fireball. So it's really shitty. They said his cage was actually going to be his VT1, but they didn't have time to implement it. They couldn't make it work. I'd be kind of down if they found a way to combine VT1 and VT2, and then added a cage trigger. VT1 and VT2 would combine very easily, I feel. They already have a lot of uncomfortable overlap. Huh? Stungo? Sakura has like an entire special move dedicated to a single crush counter combo. That just feels very stupid. There's no application. Oh, that's a nice punish actually. For Sakura's up fireball. Except for that one crush counter.
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
That's just really stupid any way you turn it. Sakura's other special moves are nuts, so I'm not really complaining. I don't think she's weak or anything. Sakura's Fireball is great. Sakura's DP is great. Sakura's Tatsu is great. Sakura's V-skill's a bit awkward. But Sakura's up Fireball is just so shit. Yeah, Goken is how it should be. Button dedicated to stun combos? Wait, don't tell me. What do you think about that one? I'm actually not sure what you're referring to. We're not talking about Crouch Fierce, are we? We might be talking about her old TC. Since that wasn't useful in general contexts. Crouch Fierce is a functional anti-air now. That's one of the changes that went under the radar in Season 3, so they made it a decent anti-air. And it's also useful for just her punishes in general, since technically speaking it's her highest damage heavy. And also, there's some good one-bar combos from it. Not very easy to land though. Dedicated to stun is a bit strong. Dedicated to punishes I would agree with. Oh no. Even in Season 2 and Season 1, it was her max damage heavy, and it was her only heavy that combos into EX flip. Both of those are kind of neat distinctions when it comes to punishes. So it wasn't useless. I would definitely say it wasn't great. Jury has very, very specialized attacks. I see very few Jury players actually use all of her attacks. Infiltration does. Infiltration uses the right attacks at the right time, and he's had good success with Jury. I feel like Jury is a very hard character to play right, but I don't know if she's actually bad. I would tentatively say no, she's not. I think Jury is just annoying to play. I think she just has to work harder to do the same shit. But I don't think she's low tier. You might say that she's low tier by merit of the fact that you have to work harder to do the same shit. Oh, if it's a crush counter punish, yeah, you can't use crouch hard punch. No, you still did. You still did. It depended on what you were trying to do, but technically speaking, her max damage in general contexts in a crush counter was crouch hard punch, dash in, TC into medium uppercut. If you had some fireball charges, you had a different combo route you could technically take. But even then, crouch fierce, dash in, stand strong into like whatever medium fireball attack, whatever, would probably be optimal. Or if you only had a light fireball, light fuha, you would do the TC into the light fuha into a flip kick. I think all of her combos would still be the same. You would still start with crouch fierce. You did have some cool links with counter hit stand fierce though. I don't think there was a crush counter on that, right? Or maybe there was. Maybe it just knocked down. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure I would buff Jury's light charge in any way, to be 100% honest with you. That's one of the things about it that's the least bad. But honestly, if you look at her tools in a vacuum, nothing's that bad. All of them are just very situational. That's a punish. It's a really bad fireball. It's probably supposed to be canceled to a super, but because he dropped his TC, He didn't want to cancel the fireball to a super because he didn't know it would work. But it was actually unsafe either way. I don't even know if I'd necessarily say her design is bad because I like the way all of her attacks work. It's just hard to keep a hold of. You have to be very aware of what your optimal damage would be with your various charges. The thing about literally every grappler in Street Fighter V is that people just swap it. People just play the best one. I think all the changes in Season 3 actually motivated people to kind of fool around with the cast a little bit. I'm glad Abigail got the treatment he did to become strong and then nerfed again. Because I think people will probably stick to Abigail. Or rather, I think there are people who never would have tried Abigail who have now tried him and might stick with him. Even if he got, like, even if he was net, even if he got buffed and nerfed and went to exactly where he was prior. I think that's also true for, like, Colleen. I think that's also true for Ed. I think that's also true for Minot. There are a lot of characters that were already pretty good who people just weren't trying because they were the newest. And then them having a little bit of time in the light has made them a lot more popular. The fact they act like a Rekka is one of the most interesting parts of them for me. I like the way that works in combos. I like the way that medium hits after a hard versus how medium works in a vacuum. I like hard into light to stay safe. I like light into hard to pick up a combo from hard. I mean from light on reaction. That's kind of cool to be able to do that. Low forward into light and then if it hits hard. They're very combo unfriendly though. Yeah, Urien, Ibuki, Balrog, and Guile were all like that. They were characters who were already functional from the very nanosecond they were added, but no one played them. And then they got buffed a little bit and then suddenly became like top tiers, or high tiers at least. And now that they've got nerfed again, a lot of people are still playing them because they're still fun and they're still unique. I love the idea of a special move having different properties in different contexts. And Jury's like all that. She uses her light DP. She uses her medium DP. She uses her heavy DP. She certainly uses her EX DP. She uses her light Fuha, her medium Fuha, her hard Fuha. She uses almost every single sequence of Fuha Fuha. She doesn't really do like light into medium very often. Or medium into light as much either. She uses EX Fuha a lot. Light flip kick is pretty shit. I think there's no actual reason to use light flip kick at all. Medium, heavy, and EX flip kick are all used. Heavy not very much, but it's there. Heavy has a purpose, or like a couple. V-skill is used a decent amount. Does she have another special? I'm trying to think of one. I like how she has what Nikali has, where sometimes her medium does more damage than her heavy uppercut in combos, depending on how the hits connect. I think that's kind of cool. That's good. It's cool to be able to make medium release safe at all. Most characters don't have that. Medium release leads to like an ender. It leads to decent damage. Most characters, if they have something that ends in decent damage, it would just be -6 or -8, and that would be that. GG. But you can actually use resources to make it safe for Jury, but it's very resource intensive. Yeah, it might not be worth. It might be worth recharges, but it's something that other characters can't do at all. It's something she can do. I feel like that can't possibly make her less interesting than other characters. Staying safe is important. It just doesn't let you fish with like medium charge very easily. Nikali's entirely built around that. That move is not so easy to combo into. And it doesn't work at all on counter hit. Staying fierce counter hit into medium stomp or low fierce counter hit into medium stomp doesn't lead to anything. So even though it's safe actually getting the sequences into it, and it's not a combo from stand strong or it might be a combo from stand strong. It's not a combo from stand forward or low strong.
Prepare to strike. Now.
And literally Nikali is built around his high punish damage. Most of his other stuff is most of his other combos are really mediocre to account for that. Nikali medium stomp leading into a full combo. A full ender. While being -2 on block is extremely rare. If I had a medium Fuha blocked, I would spend 3 charges to make it safe, like every time. I just wouldn't use the medium Fuha if I knew it would be blocked, or even if it could be blocked. But that's not really any different from like, I don't know, Sakura medium Tatsu, which can't be made safe.
Now, find a new rival. Welcome to the world of street fighting. I got the picture. Are you ready? Go.
She's got charge cancels into as true frame traps in VT1. Samuranos into hard charge. I think Samuranos into EX charge as well. And then the hard charge can be made safe with a light charge. So she does have true frame traps, it's just that they cost meter. Or rather V-time. Meter or V-time. I see people go for that shit too, so don't tell me it's useless. Joey's play, go for it left and right. It would be good as fuck if it was an overhead shit. I don't need her to have that. Next you're gonna ask why flip kick isn't an overhead. It already has a purpose without being an overhead. If it was an overhead, they'd probably make it like -12. My character should have been dizzy. Alex has that nice long dizzy bar. Got him. It would be better, I agree. But that's the problem, is it would be strong as fuck. It would be better in the sense that it would actually make Jury really dumb. People would spam it. That's why it would be dumb. It already leads to a combo. An overhead leading into a combo at all would be stupid. An overhead that leads to a combo that you can make safe would be beyond stupid. That like breaks every rule of the game. It's already a bit dumb, dude. It already leads to a combo. Kuroda's sitting here with his 31 wins with Alex. You're acting like it's unconfirmable, but it literally confirms from like her main frame tap. What do you mean anything on Zeku? What are my opinions on Zeku? Oh, Kuroda stopped playing. The after charge form swap from uppercut is like a meme. Form swap from form swap from the straight, the Koku, is decent. It lets you OS a little bit. You can just do the projectile version of Koku from really far out, and then always buffer the frame swap, the form swap, and then whatever actually works, you can do. You know, the form swap comes out, and if it's blocked, then the form swap doesn't come out. So it covers your swapping, which is kind of nice. Techie, the one that goes up into form swap, is actually pretty good. Stand medium kick, stand... What is it? Stand medium... No, you have to be from crouch fierce. Already, stand medium kick, stand medium punch. Light techie, form swap, light palm is pretty good. V-skill is also pretty good. That's already pretty nice. Those are already better combos than just completing with the Koku. Crouch fierce into medium techie into EX techie into form swap into run overhead is mad good. That's a really nice combo for him to get. None of his swaps to old Zeku are super notable. Like, I know you can do medium shoulder. It's okay. Medium shoulder into form swap into light uppercut. That does okay damage, and light uppercut has nice Oki. So overall, that's not horrible. I feel like the swaps into young Zeku are much better than the swaps into old Zeku. It helps his neutral just a little bit. It doesn't help his damage almost at all. It helps his V-meter gain somewhat. The main thing it helps with is just getting him into young Zeku safely, which is pretty nice. See that light chop whiffing? If you're not close enough, light chop can whiff on crouching opponents. It's very annoying. It's actually a bit like Lariat in the current game. The red. Alex never goes for low after a jump in for the most part. Alex never goes for low in general. Alex is a character with no lows. It looked like he did a second low short there. It looked like he'd already chained the first low short into another one. I mean, maybe you can say this, but the charge itself is not a bad move. Which is the thing that people always, I feel like, don't acknowledge whenever they're making that argument. That's not wrong. They're not so much better that they require charging. But also to remove the charge would be a kind of nerf in and of itself. And removing the need to charge would make it so she could do like, she could always go for medium into heavy into light. And if they made light unsafe, that would nerf her in so many ways. Like all these changes are just like, that would nerf her. She would be nerfed. She would either be buffed a shit ton or she would be nerfed a shit ton, depending on how you solved it. It's not so easy to remove the charging. Oof. They would need to remove the Rekkas in addition to the charging. And a lot of her combos are kind of built around the Rekkas. And they're cool.
Are you ready? Go! Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
I remember Omega Jury. Shit. I haven't thought about that in a minute.
Final round. Go!
Thought he'd get kind of the landing recovery there. That's a good jump in. How deep are we in this video? Good lord, I've watched almost half of it. I mean, almost all of it. The universal overhead jumped over Ken because he did a low forward as Alex was at his highest point. And I guess the overhead had a cross-up box, which I can't imagine ever hitting in any context other than that one. I think we had an Omega BAF Cup, didn't we? Did we? I actually don't know. We might have had a BAF Cup where Omega was legal. Oh, you know, I might be thinking of the Street Fighter 4 Send-Off Cup, which was not mine. I attended a tournament where it was an Omega permissible tournament. Omega was not forced, but it was allowed. I came in second place using Omega Ryu and it was an Edition Select tournament. I came in second place using Omega Ryu and Vanilla Ryu. And the winner was a Honda player playing Omega Honda and Ultra Honda. I mostly used Omega Ryu, but I went to Vanilla Ryu for like certain matchups. I didn't stream that one, but there are archives of it on YouTube somewhere. There's a decent attendance. Sefric was there. I think he was doing commentary. I did really well in a lot of Street Fighter 4 tournaments, online ones. I mean, I won like a third of the BAF Cups. No. But Vanilla Ryu is good against Vanilla Sagat anyway, and so is Omega Ryu, to be honest. Also, Omega Gem was banned, I think. Ryu's a counter pick for Honda, and I still couldn't beat the best player. He was like a really good Honda. I was caught off guard. I couldn't win with either Omega Ryu or Vanilla Ryu, and Vanilla Ryu is like the biggest Honda counter pick in the whole like lifespan of the game. Okay, maybe not the biggest. Probably AE Fei Long would be horrible. Yeah, AE Fei might be the worst Honda matchup in the lifespan of the game. Nice reds. This Ken is good. This blue Ken has been doing really well every single time he comes out. Presuming it's the same guy, since these are casuals. Anti-air low forward. Honda's very unusual. The guy I was playing was patient as fuck. He did a whole bunch of nothing. I threw a whole bunch of fireballs, but I threw enough fireballs that like he would like jump over like 1 in a billion fireballs. But he had me throwing enough fireballs that like, you know, he would equalize or exceed the damage of all my blocked fireballs with his one jump. And Omega Honda is pretty neat. Three button mash inputs, and I think his butt slam was like really good, but I don't remember why. Huh? Oh yeah, that only works on Chun-Li and Alex, I think. It might work on Elena too. I haven't seen that combo in a minute. Anti-air light DP into sweep. Juggling to sweep only works on certain characters. They have to be very narrow vertically when falling. They have to be like extremely horizontally oriented when falling. Chun-Li and Alex are the main two. You can juggle into sweeps on them, as most characters. Or I can do it too. I can do stand strong into sweep on Alex, I think. That definitely works in the corner. It might work mid-screen as well. That's wild though, this Ken player. That fireball was like a borderline meme on Evil Ryu, and it was one of Evil Ryu's like 3 changes. Evil Ryu was very similar to the base version, but they didn't nerf his combos. And with input leniency, Evil Ryu's combos are completely stupid. They nerfed Kami's combos. I've got all the recording from the Kami Omega B&B just chilling on my computer. I could just put that together.